Last month, there was an effort to continue a ban on homelessness moving through our judicial system. It came in the form of an attempt to outlaw using a blanket, pillow, or cardboard to protect from the elements. This ordinance originated in Grants Pass, Oregon, with the City Council in 2013. I will be presenting how banning homelessness is a backwards approach to solving the growing epidemic of people who are unhoused. The understanding of interconnectedness is essential in moving forward with any plan of attack. Homelessness is a prolonged, undignified social issue, and so including an examination of worldviews and the effects of this fragile state of being within any society is a priority. Only then can we build relationships and have the confidence in any plans to move towards a viable solution. People who are unhoused certainly need people in power advocating for more human policies. How do power, culture, and interconnectedness play a part in this human rights crisis, and how can we step up and speak out? How can all communities support and uplift impoverished populations? Could it be that the solution is simpler than the problem? The human rights issue in question is the lack of accessibility to affordable housing. Whose responsibility is it to care about people who are unhoused in our society? While the United States is seen as particularly good at upholding civil and political rights, there may not be enough focus on inherent basic human needs required for survival and living healthy without a home. If a person cannot afford a motel for the night, how can they be expected to pay a $300 fine for sleeping in the elements? The first step has to be in providing housing, and then mental, medical, and physical support with rehabilitation offered within the newly developed housing community. It's my belief that safe, reliable housing is the baseline to any authentic solution to the plight of chronic homelessness in our society. A healthy, happy, dignified society should uphold this most inherent of human rights. The number one Universal Declaration of Human Rights article that applies is the first one listed. All human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights. I agree with this image. There is a direct correlation between one's dignity and homelessness. With a safe, secure, reliable home, a struggling human has the opportunity to climb the ladder of the additional hierarchy of needs. Homelessness lacks dignity, comfort, and stability. The next article issue is number 25. It states that everyone has the right to a standard of adequate living for the health and well-being of himself and his family, including food, clothing, housing, and medical care, and necessary social services, and the right to the security in the event of unemployment, sickness, disability, widowhood, old age, or other lack of livelihood in circumstances beyond his control. Many people living in the United States lack these basic necessities. They are placed at higher risk for sickness, disability, lower IQ, and certainly lower quality of life. Let's take an institutional look at lawmakers who seem to be trying to mandate and pass the law against poverty-induced homelessness. Is the federal government trying to enact laws where people must be housed? Will policing include fining or jailing someone who is hammocking in Carson Park too long? How would they enforce the mandate fairly? It's biased to only ticket those who appear homeless. We see the issues in both macro levels, such as metropolitan Portland, Oregon, and within micro levels of smaller populated areas, such as Eau Claire, Wisconsin. A geographical relationship of power in the United States may be seen in our statewide voting systems. Social Work 290 reminded the younger generation to know the importance of voting with purpose. The Voter Rights and Voter Participation article published by the National Association of Social Workers shares the following statistics. Whereas nearly 500,000 eligible voters do not have access to a vehicle and live more than 10 miles from the nearest state ID issuing office. Under UDHR Article 21, people shall be the basis of the authority of government, and elections will show equivalent free voting procedures. Voting is a human right, no matter a person's status or place in society. Voter suppression is a social issue that historically targets those in poverty and indigent minorities. In addition, those who have been incarcerated also face voter suppression. Laws differ throughout the states, resulting in over 6.1 million Americans denied this basic right. There's a strong correlation between incarceration and homelessness. When people are released, they often don't have a home to go to. Another relationship of power is the government assistance that is offered during times such as the COVID-19 pandemic. As the federal government concluded the monetary assistance, the landlords began to increase rent prices. Matt Hanke, during his TED Talk, said housing first puts us on a path to end homelessness. He explains social services, medical care, and other necessities are unreachable when one is experiencing homelessness. I agree with the need to provide housing to people as assistance when needed. Over this semester, during our community site visits, I learned more about the culture of the city of Eau Claire. Overall, there is minimal resources provided to our unhoused people. It is not the free and readily available resources to meet the basic survival needs in housing our homeless community. We have the wonderful community table, which provides one free balanced meal 365 days a year. The Sojourner House provides a bed for sleep. The Haven House is a safe place to take a break during the day, a shelter from inclement weather, perhaps. While we have an abundance of local resources, these organizations have voiced their need for additional monetary and non-monetary support from larger entities, including federal government aid. My role is to stay active in my community and assist in creating regulations that support UDHR initiatives. Unfortunately, as in any geographical site across the globe, well-meaning folk look down on homeless people. They hold personal biases and generic stereotypes. It's a choice, or they're drug addicts, etc. Seemingly, if a general population does not like seeing homeless people, one can conclude that they do care about the issue. As we learned how to create brave spaces this semester, I understood the need to authentically promote those opportunities in our community. While it is important to be respectful during the discussions, it is also okay to ask questions and challenge outdated or uneducated ideas espoused. When someone comes off as ignorant, it means there is room to expand upon current views. It is an exciting opportunity to have a constructive conversation. There are three types of bias that shape your worldview, as described in the TED Talk by J. Marshall Shepard. Confirmation bias is an easy way to go about day-to-day life, confirming, not progressive, whereas one only seeks out information that supports their current beliefs and ideas. The mind becomes more closed off to growth and learning. The Dunning-Kruger bias is defined as thinking we know more than we do. It might cause us to feel overly confident and come off as ignorant to others. It's important to be humble when discussing human rights and political topics with others. Ignorance isn't problematic if we're open and willing to expand our ideals and edit our worldview. Cognitive dissonance challenges our current beliefs. It is most beneficial to sit with your discomfort and contradiction and have authentic, constructive discourse to increase potential progress. I define my community as the city of Eau Claire. One statistic I frequently contemplate is Eau Claire's designated $1.3 million towards connecting a walkway to Half Moon Beach at our local park. That's nice, but only $10,000 was set aside for the Sojourner House. Education is the key to implement forward-thinking policies, reform cultural biases, and support systematic changes. The decision of my educational focus could impact this event. I see housing developments in both rural and suburban areas of our community. I'd like to be a part of creating a thriving neighborhood designed specifically for unhoused people. My own decisions include continuing on the path of the cycle of liberation, as described by Bobby Harrow. This class has prompted my waking up phase in deciphering what role I play in society and how I want to revise my worldview, speaking up and cultivating conscious understanding of the event, erasing stigmas and using privilege to voice support and advocate for the oppressed and disadvantaged. Our worldviews and ideologies will continue to expand and improve when social injustices are addressed, with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights articles in the forefront of the discussion. In conclusion, Social Work 290, Social Rights and Human Justice has been a great learning environment. I've learned about advocacy and how to successfully speak on the issues of social injustice. The solution to any homelessness crisis has to include the Housing First model. With a home, a person can attend to their basic needs of self-care, find employment, attend rehabilitation, or achieve sobriety. Advocacy is key at a micro level by having conversations with families and friends, as well as the macro level within the city of Eau Claire, and also at a meso level in writing emails to stop any mandates or bans of homelessness. On an individual level, I won't sit complacent. Rather, I will empower myself through education and introspection with authentic and active advocacy. This class has taught me how to make connections, join and foster a community of advocates, with the goal of using privilege and voice to speak for those who face discrimination and injustices.